Grifter's question is, remember when I was young, The Little Mermaid was full of color. This was new, but why is the new one so dark? Yeah, we didn't really get to The Little Mermaid because it is just an atrocity. They don't know what they're doing, Grifter. They're literally hiring the JV squad at every single level with everything. The departments are behind schedule. They can't even get the staff they need to pump out the proper CGI. This is one of the reasons that She-Hulk looks like a complete mess, because you don't have people doing it. You have people rushing through, this scene or that scene, and it can't get done right. And I will say, they also think that the darker makes it look real, and they can hide their CGI blemishes. Those are my theories. I'm trying to pull the trailer up so we can see at least a little bit of it. It's funny about Little Mermaid getting all this backlash. I'm sure by now you guys have seen it a little bit. It's getting massively ratioed online, which is beautiful. There's a lady I work with, and a redheaded family. So they're Disney people, and obviously Ariel was their favorite princess, and all this literally had mermaid parties with their kids, kind of stuff, all off the chain. When this poor girl was cast, and I just said, "Hey, do you see that they were cast?" She says, "No, it's awful." I'm like, huh. Now I didn't go there. I didn't say anything else, right? And they're POCs. They're not us token Lord of the Rings inhabitants, as we were constantly being belittled about or whatever. It's I'm trying to get it to play, and I don't know so I can try to share it, but it won't work properly here for me. So let me to get it caught up and pause. But so those of you don't know, it's been a while in the works that obviously the new Snow White movie, the live action Snow White, and the live action Little Mermaid are not going to have Caucasian princesses. They've been recast. They've been cast as a person of color. And the sort of official teaser dropped at D23. Most of the criticism, let me see which one did I grab? Oh, I grabbed Studio Disney. Oh, I don't have the discard option on this computer. When I last checked, the upvotes, it says that 695,000 upvotes, but the downvotes was 1.6 million. Oh, there it goes. It did populate. 1.9. It did populate. It took a minute for it to populate. So that means 606,000 upvotes, 1.9, almost 2 million downvotes. And most of the comments are not about her not being white. They're about how crappy everything looks, which I think is what Grifter's trying to get at. And I do apologize. My computer is not wanting to play nice. We already had one blip tonight with the power outage or whatever I had going on. So I'm trying to get it to work. It's just buffering. I just go back to what I'm saying. I don't know, Mags and AJ, you guys seen stories that talk about how bad the CGI houses are being run right now, why they can't get people and all that kind of stuff?
I've heard through people like Midnight's Edge and everything how.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I don't know the full story, but I have heard things, and it's not looking too hot, y'all. The CGI is going to get worse. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. No, I don't know for sure myself. I've heard from sources that they're just being overworked. But again, Disney, where's the Renaissance? Give us some great 2D animation,
Amen.
And put some, not a skin over it, but just evolve the technology. Stop operating within the safe zone. Stop making these people just come in here to generate these images. Actually sit down, develop a plan, and create something. Yeah, and this trailer looks terrible.
Yeah, it does.
And I enjoyed The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little Mermaid, again, this is in this Nexus era. And if those of you that didn't live through it, that era of, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, this was like this Nexus era. That's when I was having kids at the end of that. So it's like all these movies were already out. It was so much fun revisiting the Disney universe, enjoying these films with kids and all of that. And
it was definitely the golden age of 2D animation. It was like a
Renaissance is a great use for that.
Yeah, it was like a very, just almost every other year was just a great animated movie. So,
and it didn't really kind of pick up again until there are pieces of things that look right because they shoot certain things, and then the rendering just becomes a mess. So the person that rendered those green plants when she enters, yeah, that person did a good job. Feel good for you. You did all right. Those things look like they're actually really in water and they're actually moving. But then when you start to move through it all, it looks like crap again. It's just terrible. And what I understand is they just can't get enough good people. So this is when she emerges. She looks white in that shot, by the way. I don't know. I know she's not, but you start to see what she really looks like. And for whatever reason, she does have red hair.
Yeah, like you weren't going to keep her the same. Like, why even bother with the red hair? Just go all out.
Yeah, she's a pretty girl. I really feel bad for her because she's going to be sucked up in a bunch of backlash. And even if it's not race driven, they're going to make it that way. I'm sure she'll come out and she'll do the exact same thing that Moses Ingram did. Did I say her name right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
I was warned about how racist these fans are, or whatever. Yeah. It's like, no, we don't care. We just want a good movie. And you're really touching one that you shouldn't have taken the job for. Like, I got to be honest, that script would have to knock my socks off. I'd see some CGI tests and stuff before I'd touch a project like this.
So these people, this whole representation argument. Well, okay, if little girls or kids need to see themselves in these characters, well, you only just did this for the black girls. What about the Italian girls, the Russian girls, the Mexican girls, the Asians? Where are they mermaids at? If you would have just gave us a mermaid's story, maybe, and Ariel and her friends or something, I don't know, where you can get those races in there, I think that would have been better received than just taking Ariel and have her with the black face. And again, this is Disney, so I'm saying like they're bastardizing their own projects. Like this just came out, like about 20 years ago, probably a little bit more than that. But it's like, dang, you are already reaching back there, and again, trying to get that money, capitalize off that name. But we're just gonna put a different skin on it this time.
And you hit the nail on the head, AJ. It is. I mean, of course, every big business, money is the bottom line, but this is almost next level greedy. It's it's so sad because you almost want to ask the question because the answer is false, but you almost want to ask the question: are you actually making money from the old stuff? Because I'm pretty sure you are. So why are you putting a new skin on something to get? I mean, I don't. Well, because The Lion King made some money in the theater, but I just can't imagine people wanting to buy the DVDs or the Blu-rays or whatever of these movies. They're getting them on streaming. So what kind of value are you getting out of this? I mean, not just entertainment value, but also monetary value. It's not the same thing.
I think it's just cheap content, and they know that this is so they have cheap content in a way they can plug into the Disney Plus universe, and this is actually not going to cost them that much to piece this together and throw it in theaters and probably make $500, $600, $700 billion just because that's the market in the world we live in. People will do, especially with kids' movies. People will let their kids sit through garbage if it entertains the kids for an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I will say, I know it's not what everybody wants to hear, but it really, really is. So, and you got your supporters, man. Zach's saying, yeah, preach it, man. Pretending villains are actual heroes while becoming the villains themselves. That is Disney. And yes, the trailer looks terrible visually. It is just insane.
Zach is a good dude.
He's always on point. Always on point. So I'm talking about it's so dark. It's like they want to put something in the minds of kids. I don't think I really think most likely if it's not fixed by the time we see it and it's not a lighter tone, it's because it's hiding how bad some of the CGI is. You can cheat a little bit easier when it's dark.
I think somebody has mentioned that before, where when they darken. Oh, it was over on. Either we were talking about it or somebody else was talking about it with Obi-Wan show. Mm-hmm. Like some scenes were just so utterly dark. It's kind of like, are you trying to hide something?
Mm-hmm. They are. And you can tell with She-Hulk because they can't hide it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna mention this when I talk about the Pinocchio thing as well, because it really hit me with the Jiminy Cricket character. Because what the problem is there is no texture. They don't go back. It's just like green face paint. It's like the Wicked character. It's like Shrek, but there's no texture. There's nothing. It doesn't feel like actual skin. There's no hair. There's no pores in the skin. It does not look real.
There's no detail. Yeah.
And even when they try to do detail, they're not doing wrinkles, and they're not doing things that are real to our brains and what we see in one another. So something like this, I don't know if you guys have heard. Is all of Little Mermaid's family, are all of them black, or is it just her? Is she like? I don't
know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see, because it was. I got to be honest. It's funny to me that it was news that it got ratioed so bad, because that's a big number, to be honest.
Yep.
I really and it's not all of it. And just like my coworker, because she walked by, I had my notes up, and saw Hocus Pocus 2 was announced. We don't have to cover Hocus Pocus 2, but that was what she dialed into. Oh, there's going to be a Hocus Pocus 2? Like, she could care less about Little Mermaid. She didn't care about Mufasa. She just like, well, there's a hope, because that's that middle-aged white lady's thing. She's into that. Now, that's not my thing, but there's money that's going to go into that for her. She'll be consuming it. So they know they have to hit these different buckets. So let me ask you guys, when you have something as big as Disney is, are we being too, okay, I know it's crap content, but we should at least acknowledge they are trying to hit all of these different boxes. They've gotten themselves so big, because everyone complains there's so much being generated, but they're so massive. They got to put something in for this group of people and this group. Now, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to throw something against the wall for these people, something a wall for they look at them all as independent line items in their business. I mean, that's how I looked at it. I thought, well, they got to have another princess movie. They got to have another live action adaptation. They just keep throwing. They're plugging off. They're ticking off these like to-do list things. It's not a creative process. It's not you had a good script. It's just they're ticking off boxes.
I think if they were checking boxes, it shouldn't be like a diversity or representation checking your boxes. I was talking to my wife about this. As I really think about this stuff wrecks my brain. But
that's why you're so good, my friend.
Oh, man, I appreciate you. I think with checking the boxes, instead of just pulling their Renaissance movies to the present and putting a different skin on them, and while also taking away all the soul that they had, check boxes as in, okay, The Lion King. We had a story with talking animals about, a kingdom. With Mulan, we have a warrior princess going against, traditional ways of her culture. Beauty and the Beast. Okay, we have somebody in love with a different creature. I think they should check boxes in that way, as opposed to, okay, we're going to take this movie that we already made and we're going to check boxes with, okay, let's put this colored person in there. Let's put this sexual orientation in there. Or, let's make sure we have a woman, just making things happen. So I think checking boxes from a company standpoint would be fine if they looked at it like, okay, what were the movies that made us big back then, and how do we redo that, but not, like I said, so literally redo the movies.
Max, do you see it as what I was trying to pitch to you? Like, it's instead of looking at saying, well, we need something in the little boy demographic from 9 to 13, and we need something for the Star Wars adults, and we need something for the Star Wars kids, and now it's more like a hodgepodge of stuff where we just click off these little boxes, and like you said, right? Diversity, inclusion, and equity matter more than a quality script that you're trying to get through.
Yeah, it's also corporate. It's so cold.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very cold, and like AJ said, it's very soulless. And how do you? It's the way they write these characters too. They have no depth. They have no soul. They don't like. How am I supposed to? They talk about diversity. They're so surface level depth. I mean, it's so. I mean, you talk about don't judge a book by its cover, but that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. There's no level of depth that they can with these stories, and it's just it's empty. And I'm like, why would I want to watch empty entertainment when I can find other things that have something that speaks to the human level? And this is not it. So no, just it's a no for me for this stuff.
Well, if it wasn't this bad, we wouldn't get such great dad humor from someone like Zach, who says, "I don't know who this is for, but it's obvious and I made for me. But the kids are clamoring for this."
Yeah.
There you go. That's his dad pun for the day. That's good, man.